So we're at the Pittsburgh Cars and Coffee Hangar event in September 15th, and I'm here with David Wiggins, the president and CEO of Covert Tuning Dynamics. And David was the chief sponsor of our event today and brought this amazing vehicle. And I won't tell you what it's called and its name. I'll just have David tell us a little bit about it, what was involved, and walk us a bit through some of the things that we did with this vehicle. So David?
Thank you. Well, some say that he who works on him is killed for confidentiality reasons. All we know, the Stig is done. This is an LP2000-2 SVTT for twin turbo. Started life as a standard 670-4 SV and is now 2,000 wheel horsepower. Everything on this car, excluding body work, has been redesigned, re-engineered, and improved. There's over 3,000 man-hours that have gone into this build. Tireless nights, and over 4 years of R&D even before that, just discussing it and looking up products and ways of doing things differently and better. Well, I guess we'll start with the engine bay, the goodies. In here, you've got two completely custom upper plenums. These were machined out of a solid chunk of billet aluminum on a 5-axis CNC machine. They are roughly double the size of what the stock plenums were. And the throttle bodies, instead of having two on each side of the plenums at, I believe, 62 millimeters each, there are now just two throttle bodies on the end, 102 millimeters each, for maximum airflow. Now, as you can see, most people when they do TT kits, they don't think about the air. They'll suck it from the back of the bumper where it's hot, or it's sitting over the turbos. These are custom designed cold air intakes, 5 inches in diameter each. Now those feed directly to the turbos, which are GTX 4294s. Now the exhaust system coming off the turbos is literally 12 inches long. It is what you see. The turbos sit right here. The exhaust is right there. Now I have to give credit to my wife Emily, who's also a co-owner and vice president of CTD. She came up with the idea of doing hexagonal tips to match the honeycomb.
Excellent.
On the grill. So,
and you know, that was a trademark of Ferruccio Lamborghini himself. He
yes,
loved the honeycomb.
Loved the honeycomb. So,
not surprisingly, so that's a great idea.
Well, thank you. As everything here we did to keep with the matte carbon theme, because there's no gloss on the car, save for the mirrors and a couple little panels up there, which we'll get to. We did everything in matte. So, matte black on the Lamborghini badge instead of chrome. A matte or satin finish on the taillights when we blacked them out. Same thing with the side markers. As we come around over here, you'll see matte, or I guess technically it really is satin, not matte. We'll start calling it that. Satin black on the wheels. Calipers and parking brake caliper painted in the Bianco Canopus to match exactly the paint color. We had MA Carbon, custom make, the only one they've ever made for a Murci, matte carbon fuel door. And the only set also in the world of matte carbon side view mirrors. So this was a gloss piece. Now the only thing stage 2 is going to be, we're going to take these panels, the little bit of gloss left, we're going to get those done in carbon. It's going to take a long time because they have to prototype it, so that'll be a winter project. Little touches, making sure the SVTT graphic, and then of course the badge. On the inside, you have carbon fiber air vents that we changed. The roll cage has been wrapped in carbon fiber, and the entire back wall is nothing but one piece or two pieces of sheet carbon that sit behind. That's a 6-point roll cage that integrates into the chassis, and there's a strut brace that runs along the back in the engine bay. There is no Murcielago outside of perhaps the SVR from Ryder Engineering that is as stiff and is capable of handling this much power as this one is. Now, forgive me jumping back and forth here. There are literally an entire notebook of modifications. And with 3,000 hours, you of course get a lot of that. But that down tube, as you can see, we'll come back here. The down tube of the roll bar and the cage comes down, ties into a gusset here, and then there's a strut brace that goes right across. Now the engine was also made to be a stressed member of the chassis. It means that everything is bolted together. The motor is sleeved. We're the only ones who sleeve a Murcielago motor. No one else is doing that. No one else is redesigning throttle bodies and plenums. They just leave it the way it is. And the intercooler actually sits, you can see it through here, with velocity stacks for the charge pipes right there. Now Stig is also going to be utilizing some NASA materials when it comes, that we're doing some testing for NASA with in the automotive industry, namely when it comes to heat shielding. Now that will all release once we get the okay from them to do so, so we'll more on that later basically. Come around here, you can get, I think, an even better shot of the roll cage, and then also the custom dash. It was remade to exact Lamborghini specs, but instead of 220 miles per hour speed limit, it's 330. Instead of an 8250 red line, it's now a 9250 red line, and fully adjustable by us. The shift puck, also with the LP2000-2 insignia on it. The list goes on and on. We've also done a complete custom sound system. New Kenworth head unit and rear view camera. Focal speakers, and the crossovers are actually mounted in the doors. Now, people would say, why do a sound system, in a race car? We wanted to do the best of everything and show that just because you strip tons of weight out and give it a lot of power, maybe some days you just want to drive it a little more casually and have sound.
So you've really designed this car with a dual nature in mind, meaning that you could take this on the track and blow anything else away.
Yes.
But at the same time, you can take this around town and be comfortable.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was sort of a streetable race car.
Yeah.
Instead of a race-worthy street car.
Yes.
We just sort of thought about it in a different way.
It's actually a really interesting way to think about it. Yeah.
So, yeah, ADV, they custom made those wheels for this exact application and stripped as much weight while leaving all the strength we needed. So yeah, in a very brief nutshell, that's pretty much
this is pretty amazing. So tell us a little bit about the company, and tell us what the website is. And
absolutely. Well, right now we were waiting for the big unveil before we launched the full website, but it is coverttuning.com. Currently, you can just like us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/coverttuningdynamics. And you can keep up to date on all the build progress and all the different projects we're doing, all the different customer cars. But basically, our motto is engineered transformations. And what that is, instead of just adding boost to a car or simply, let's make it go faster, how can we make it better? And obviously that leads to making more power, but taking away, or they say adding lightness,
yes,
and also adding power, and just re-engineering things. It's taking a very unconventional approach as opposed to, well, what would be the best scenario? Oh, well, this isn't how people do it. So what? We will figure out a way to do it, and as opposed to trying to make the part fit, we instead of trying to buy something, we will make something.
So now you just made an interesting point, because you said adding lightness. So tell us, this car is much lighter.
Yes, as a matter of fact, the SV is the lightweight model of a Murcielago. Lamborghini claims 220 pounds. We stripped out 550. Additional.
Yes. So this car is 770 pounds lighter than the stock Super Veloce.
Exactly, and that includes what we've put back in with the turbo system.
That is quite amazing.
And it really is. I mean, everything from there's Stig's main competition, really.
Yeah, an airplane.
Right there.
And in fact, I'm not surprised because they kind of want to drown us out.
Exactly.
Saying, we don't want to hear about the Stig. I'm boss.
Exactly.
But we
You
know
can see they're threatened.
They're threatened.
They feel threatened.
Understood.
That's okay. That's okay.
Right.
But yeah, basically, that includes things like rear-wheel drive conversion,
Yes.
getting rid of all the sound deadening materials and carpets. We even had a custom lithium battery made that's 55 pounds lighter than stock, but has twice the cold cranking amps. So just again, it's all those little, and then they start adding up. You get rid of these hoses and this and that. You'd be amazed at how much some of this stuff actually weighs.
That's wonderful. So we'll see the Stig in action soon, and we're really excited at the prospect, and certainly excited that you brought the Stig here and unveiled it in our event. And again, as you heard from David, this car really is the ultimate Super Veloce. There's none like it, and I think a lot of cars are going to have to be looking out because this is going to be the car to beat.
Well, thank you so much. It was an honor, and it's always nice to be affiliated with Pittsburgh Cars and Coffee. Even though we're located in Columbus, I'm from Pittsburgh, still have our houses here in Pittsburgh, and it was a great event. You threw an amazing party, and I'm honored, and we are honored as a team just to be affiliated with you guys, and so glad you let us unveil our car here.
Excellent. Thank you, David.
So much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Great. That.
Money ain't